What's up, gang? I don't know what day it is. It's Friday morning before Memorial Day weekend. That's when it is. And I guess I'm driving into the rain. I want to talk about something that just hit us this week. June 15th, Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva in Brazil. What a freaking treat. What a treat. I'm going to talk about a couple different aspects of this. I hope the rain isn't like messing up the, what do you call it, like the audio quality. I got a feeling it's going to get loud. We'll see how it goes. If it does, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't control that. I'll try to talk loud. All right, so if you haven't been around MMA, like if you just got into it in the last couple years, you probably don't have the respect for Anderson Silva that you should. But if you've ever been around me for very long and ever said Anderson Silva's name in vain, you know I'm speaking up. Anderson Silva's the GOAT. He's the greatest fighter of all time. One of the most legendary fights of all time. And one of many spectacular moments. That's what makes him so great, is he has so many great moments. Chael Sonnen, back when Chael and Anderson fight for the first time, Chael is the #1 trash talker in the game. He's the only bad guy. He's the only guy trying to play a heel role. He did it, and I was a professional wrestling fan forever. Even then, I was watching it like pretty regularly. He had me tricked. I hated Chael Sonnen. I was like tweeting him to take that picture with the belt down. He ain't no champ. He ain't beating it. He would just blatantly go on shows and tell the most ridiculous lies. And it was so frustrating. It was so frustrating. But it worked. Him and Anderson go on to fight, and they set the record for the most sold pay-per-views. Chael had all the records for the most sold pay-per-views up until Conor McGregor came around. And now he's behind Conor. But, okay, so going into this fight, it's a big fight. Chael's been running his mouth. Anderson's an established, dominant champion. They get in the fight. Chael whoops Silva's ass for 4 rounds. I'm not talking just better on the stand-up. I'm talking gets takedowns when he's won. Winning the stand-up exchange, getting takedowns when he wants, dominating the ground and pound. He's not like busting Silva open and putting knots on his head, but in a 5-minute round, he was probably in control for 4 minutes every single round. That's freaking crazy, especially against Silva too. So, we're literally in the last minute. I'm wanting to say the end comes with 30 seconds left. We are in the last minute. It is 1 minute on the clock. Chael is on top of Anderson Silva. He's in his guard, working the ground and pound lightly, kind of just holding on position. Anderson Silva throws up a triangle. And he doesn't ever get the triangle. I'm pretty sure he ends up getting it with the arm bar off of it. It could have been the triangle. But anyways, Chael spoke about this since then. He didn't feel threatened, and you can see it. It didn't look deep until it was. And Chael even he did the most tricky tap out of all time. He like swung his hand and went like that, and then kept pushing off. So he argued with the ref that he didn't tap and stuff, and then he spends the next forever months saying that he's the real champion, and he's just got away with words. It's so entertaining. But, so in that moment, Silva, adding to his legacy, is dominated every round, the entirety of the round, and in the last minute or 30 seconds, pulls out a submission to win and retain his belt. It was classic, man. If you don't know that fight, you have to know that fight if you're watching this video. Go watch it. It's on YouTube. Even if I think I got some people following me that aren't into fighting. You should go watch this fight. Even if you're not into fighting. Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva 1. They have 2 fights. Watch the first one. It's a lot longer. All right. Now let's get into the boxing. Just in case I guess I just wanted to cover that in case anyone wasn't sure of Anderson and Chael's rivalry. They did go on to fight again. Silva won in his typical fashion the second time. Second round TKO, if I remember right. Where I really wanted to go with a couple things going on. Chael's taking this fight in preparation to get ready for Jorge Masvidal in October, assuming Jorge actually has his crap together. I'll believe it when I see it. And then it was an honor for Chael. And Chael said that. That's not me making it up. Chael is even like, I'm gonna break the promo and I'm just gonna tell the truth for a minute. And he's like, Silva has so many great moments, and for Silva to choose, and this is Anderson Silva's last fight of any combat at all. Like, he retired from MMA and he wanted to do some boxing. He got his boxing matches. This is his last fight. So he got to choose. I mean, he's the one deciding and everything. He reached out to the opponent and everything. Reaches out to Chael. And he offered it to be MMA. Turns out he was like, Chael can pick whatever rules he wants. Turns out Chael always wanted to box. So Chael's like, well, would he be willing to do boxing? Let's box. And so that's how it is. It's going to be 4 rounds. I believe 14-ounce gloves. We'll call it Queensberry rules. It's regular boxing rules. It's not exhibition. They're not going to come outside of the ring to announce the winner. You could win by knockout, stuff like that. Yeah. I'm excited for this because it's 2 heroes of the game. Like, we got 2 legends of the game going back in there. Just now at work, I made a friend, and I'm sure if any true boxing, there are a lot deeper boxing fans than me. Like, I don't even consider myself a deep, hardcore boxing fan. I could not name the top 5 in any weight class. I could not name every weight class, for Christ's sake, in boxing. I couldn't even name every freaking organization there is that has a belt in boxing. Part of that is because it's so corrupt, it's never going to get I'm never going to support it in the manners that I do. I love the sport and I love boxing, but the professional side of it's so jacked up, you're never going to see me get into that. It is hard to find anyone that actually knows a lot about boxing as a fan, like actually keeps up with boxing itself. Every time there's a big fight once a year, you'll hear a bunch of people talking about it like they know. Ask them to name the top 5. Ask them to name a top three. Ask them to name 5 different weight classes. You'll find out real quick. And I'm one of those. I can't do it. It's too corrupt. It's too corrupt. It's still corrupt. But anyways, where was I going with that? Oh, so at work, I've made this friend, and he seems to like boxing a lot. Like, he named some people that, when I met him and I was talking about fighting, talking about boxing, he said he loves boxing, didn't watch a lot of UFC. I'll hear that from people a lot as I'm talking to people, and then I find out they don't really watch any of it. They've seen some boxing or whatever. And that's fine. I'm not trying to put anyone down. But then as me and this guy got into more depth, I realized he actually does. I really only know like 3 people that I would rattle off that say really know boxing as fanship. And one of them's a MMA fighter. Andrew knows so much about fucking boxing. But anyways, all right. I sit down with him just a little bit ago, and I go to tell him, and I was like, man, Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva, I don't think that me saying those names hit him like it hit me, like the excitement of how I explained the rivalry and everything at the beginning. I don't think he's aware of all that, because I think he's mainly a boxing fan. But he knows who Anderson Silva is, and I think he knows who Chael is. And he just kind of shook his head in disappointment, which caught me really off guard, and I was like, huh. I didn't say anything. I just kind of let him. He's like, man. He's like, aren't they like 50? And I was like, I think Chael's in his upper 40s. I don't know exactly where he's at, but he's in his upper 40s, mid 40s. Silva should be right around the same way, I imagine. Silva actually might be 42 or something. I don't know. But Then he started saying, he's like, man, all it takes is one hit and they're not going to be the same anymore. They could mess the rest of their life up. And I get what he's saying. I totally get what he's saying. I don't know what I think about it or what to say about it. Because usually I'm a pretty big advocate for safety. I hate seeing fighters get beat up over and over. The guy with the green hair that fought Sean O'Malley, Chris, it was Kris, and I can't remember his last name, but he took that fight with O'Malley. Someone got hurt, and he took the fight on like freaking 2 days' notice. And he had been working in a factory, and he quit his factory job because he was getting paid so much for this. And he just got pinged around until about 20 seconds in the last round. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen someone take that much damage. Maybe Rory McDonald when he fought Robbie Lawler, except Rory was putting damage back on his opponent. Chris was not. But he would not go down, and he took such a beating. I did not like seeing that. Then they gave him another fight. With his heart and everything, they gave him another fight. And I was happy that they should. If he wants it, they should have. The same thing happened, and it was more in his caliber. He wasn't fighting Sean O'Malley. He was fighting a newcomer, a 1-0, 0-1 type guy. Same thing happened. Oh, it was bad. I felt so bad for that kid. I don't want to see someone like that compete. I don't want to, and I'm with my friend's opinion when I see someone like that. Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje was kind of like that. Tony was in that fight a lot more than people realize. That's why it kept going on for so long. But Tony's not taking that. Tony isn't taking this damage until it's that shot. Like I would say Tony could have been beating Michael Chandler until he ate that fucking punt. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I hate seeing Tony get knocked out and lose over and over. And I don't feel like he's taking beatings and necessarily destroying his health any more than an average fighter. But I got the rambling off to try to give more examples that I relate to. Neither Chael nor Anderson have ever seemed to be in a position where they're taking a bunch of damage. And Chael has a much longer career than I think a lot of us give credit to because of when he left the UFC and went to Bellator. It wasn't that long ago Chael was fighting Fedor. And didn't he fight Rampage again over there? I know he fought Vanderlei. He had a handful of fights over there at heavyweight. But should we start feeling like that at an age? I don't know. I do know I do not like watching kids fight. Like when I see this junior MMA, these 7 and 8 year olds, that is stupid. Like I just don't. It doesn't seem right. But it seems like it would be prejudice for me to say at an older age we need to stop or something. That's tricky, guys. That's really tricky. And there's validity to what my friend said. And if you're sitting there doubting it and you're like, oh, Chael and Anderson are fine, hey, there wasn't a person on the planet who thought Evander Holyfield was in the condition that he was in when he got in there with Vitor Belfort. Like, Evander Holyfield does not need to, he shouldn't have, how a commission signed off on him being allowed to box is beyond me. That was like terrifying and heartbreaking. But I am excited for the fight. I guess I leave y'all with this, with the question, should we stop it? Should fighters stop at an older age? I don't know. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say as long as your mental sharpness is there and you're not showing signs of deterioration mentally, you're still free to do what you want. Especially, those two never really took ferocious beatings or anything. I think Silva only ever got KO'd the one time. So, yeah. But yeah, 15-minute video. Sorry, that's a long one, guys. But June 15th, I don't know the venue, or not the venue, but like I don't know if it's DAZN. It probably is DAZN that's doing it, or like Showtime. I don't know who's putting it on. But it is June 15th, and it is going to be in Brazil. It's going to be Chael, Sonnen, Anderson Silva, 4 rounds. It's not an exhibition. It's a true boxing match, and I'm excited for it.